Chapter 226, Repeated Breakdowns. Is this his wife? Too similar. Fang Hao is now very calm. Any scene of a wife's affair cannot compare to the moment of humiliation in the bridal chamber 4 years ago. If he hadn't seen Yue Xia, he would have thought it was his wife at first glance. Except for some differences on the face, hairstyle, and figure, Yue Xia is almost identical to his wife. The woman in the photo is wearing big sunglasses, covering half of her face, and due to the covert angle of the shot, it's not entirely certain. While asking, he said, "Sister Li, where did you get these photos?" Rui Li said, "My husband's phone has cloud storage. I had someone hack into the cloud storage and copied the contents. I've been looking at these things these past few days. I've already confirmed my husband's problem, and I'll be getting a divorce." "Divorce? Why?" "Sister Li, you need to consider this calmly. There's nothing to consider. He has more than one woman, and he lied to me." There was a sob in Rui Li's voice on the other end of the phone, sounding very sad. "Sister Li, I don't know how to advise you, but the first thing you need to do now is stay calm and not act impulsively. You're not just thinking about yourself, you also have little Tiger." "I know. Otherwise, I would have sent him the divorce agreement and left. These past 2 days, I miss little Tiger a lot. It's the first time I've been away from him for so long since he was born. Thank you for sending me his photos and videos every day. I have to watch them several times each night to fall asleep." "Yeah. By the way, why would your husband's cloud storage have these photos I sent you? When were they taken?" "I don't know how he got them. The time was last June. He uploaded them to the cloud storage on June 15th, but I don't know when he took them." "Fang Hao, is this Suro?" "I don't know. I need to know the exact time and then check if Suro had any business trips on that day. The place in the photos seems to be a foreign beach. Did your husband go on a business trip abroad last year?" "He often goes on business trips. I'll compare his chat records with me from last year." "Fang Hao, let me ask you something. If it really is Suro, what will you do? Get a divorce?" "To be honest, I've already filed for divorce once, but Suro rejected it. Unless I get irrefutable evidence that leaves her with no excuses, otherwise, I can't divorce her right now, especially since she's pregnant." "Aren't these photos enough?" "Enough or not, I don't know. Sister Li, it's late. You should rest." Fang Hao hung up the phone and then searched his computer and phone for some communication records with his wife. Last year, his wife did not have any long holidays or business trips abroad. This woman should be Yue Xia. Fang Hao sighed with relief, feeling a bit lucky, but then he thought that this kind of luck was just self-deception. His wife and her lover's illicit relationship went beyond these scenes. Any indecent scenes, whether in the present or in the future, were destined to make him repeatedly break down. Because this wife is the first woman he fell in love with, a woman he has devoted his heart and soul to for 4 years, a woman who has become an integral part of his body and mind. It's just fate playing tricks on him. He failed to see her true face before falling in love with her. Sigh. Fang Hao sighed and silently lit a cigarette. Who has the years to look back on, to reminisce about deep affection and share white hairs together? The next day's breakfast. Watching little Tiger eat eagerly, he said, "Don't rush, take it slow, be careful not to choke. Your kindergarten isn't open, and the teacher isn't here yet, so there's no need to hurry." "Uncle, it's delicious, hee." Tian said, "My dad's cooking isn't good, it's my dad's breakfast that's delicious." Jie added, "Exactly. My dad is a person, not breakfast, so I won't eat my dad. I love my dad, I won't eat him." Little Tiger quickly clarified, "I mean the breakfast is delicious. Uncle, I won't eat you." Fang Hao smiled, patted little Tiger's head. It's truly a lively and lovely child. Thinking about Dong Yunzhou and Rui Li's divorce, he couldn't help but feel a shadow over little Tiger's future. No matter how good a family is, whether it's the man or the woman having an affair, it poses a risk of breaking up the family. Boom! Suddenly, the upstairs and downstairs renovation started, and the deafening sound of electric drills could be heard through the floors and doors. Can't they wait a bit? Damn it! After the children finished eating and tidied up a bit, he took them away. Later, he went to pick up Lu Jing and went to the hospital together. "Director Lu, I can't stay in the gynecology department anymore. You have to take over." After parking the car, before Lu Jing got off, Fang Hao added, "Stay calm, be confident." Lu Jing smiled slightly, got out of the car, and headed to the outpatient department. Fang Hao parked the car in the underground parking lot and then walked towards the obstetrics and gynecology building. At the front of the building, the head nurse, his partner, was already waiting. She quickly approached and said, Director Luo Xuejuan has already been here once, but she went to the director's office again. It's okay. Starting today, she is the director of the gynecology department, and she will take full charge. Everyone just needs to do their job. Yeah, there's another issue. Director Luo suspended the task assignments for outpatient services, denied your previous approach, and everything will be according to her allocation. Your schedule for today hasn't been released yet. What should we do? As expected. Let her come to arrange it. After the handover later, the department is no longer under my sole authority. Everything will be done according to Director Luo's rules. Director Fang, what about you? I was temporary to begin with. Once the official director takes over, I'll return to my original role. I'm just a brick at the Provincial People's Hospital, moving wherever needed. Director Fang, this isn't fair. You're clearly the most capable. Shoo, don't say that. It doesn't sound good. We're all here to work. Don't bring personal emotions into it, that could lead to mistakes, and we wouldn't be responsible for ourselves or the patients. Fang Hao spoke lightly, then went to the office and gathered all the department doctors and nurses in the corridor in front of the elevator. After a moment, Yang Wenjin and several other high-level leaders from the hospital, along with the new arrival Luo Xuejuan and others, came out of the elevator. Having seen Luo Xuejuan's photo before, he thought she was a very ordinary woman. Now seeing her in person, she did indeed look ordinary, height of 1.6 meters, and neither thin nor fat figure, nothing that caught Fang Hao's attention. He led the applause with a professional smile on his face, but in his heart, he was thinking, Director Lu, save me. The handover went smoothly, and Fang Hao was no longer in charge of the gynecology department. He was just an ordinary attending physician, but he continued to enjoy the deputy director treatment from the moment he temporarily took over the department. If there were no changes in the new position after 3 months, he would receive the treatment of an ordinary attending physician. If there were further adjustments, he would enjoy the corresponding treatment of the new position. After the handover, Luo Xuejuan asked Fang Hao to go to her office and said directly, Dr. Fang, you don't need to schedule outpatient services today, and you need to vacate the director's dormitory. I'll give you a morning to move your things. Is that enough for you? Okay. Fang Hao was stunned for a moment, but could only agree. This woman is indeed not a good person. Chapter 227, Yue Xia Huo's Moth to the Flame. Director, just as you said, I've been stripped of everything. Now, I'm just left with the title of attending physician. Fortunately, Yang Wenjin still has a bit of conscience and let me enjoy the deputy director treatment for 3 months. Also, I need to move out of the director's dormitory before noon. After parking the car, Fang Hao directly called Lu Yu to vent his frustration. This is quite normal. Don't panic, stay steady for now. Your abilities go far beyond that of a department head. With no outpatient duties for the time being, you have more free time. I've arranged private consultations at Moonbay. You'll get news before noon. Alright, I'll wait for good news. Ending the call, Fang Hao, though somewhat disappointed, had no regrets. During his time as the department head, he had given his all. Although the time wasn't long, it was quite rich in terms of experience for him. What's more, through this period, his medical skills had improved. He drove to the dormitory, only to find Li Rongzi waiting outside his door. Dr. Li, are you looking for me? Li Rongzi said, the director asked me to help you move. I hurt my back last night, so I'm not up for lifting heavy objects. Damn it. Luo Xuejuan, you despicable woman. Afraid that I won't leave, you sent a dog to watch over me? Fang Hao knew what was going on but calmly said, that's not necessary. I don't have much stuff, I can handle it myself. In an hour and a half, Fang Hao finished moving. He handed the keys to Li Rongzi and drove away. Dr. Fang, is this your car? Li Rongzi was astonished to see Fang Hao's Mercedes. So what if it's a Mercedes? Fang Hao didn't respond to her words, even ignoring her completely. Li Rongzi's face darkened, and she spat towards Fang Hao's departing car. Fang Hao moved his things to the laboratory at Jiangdong University and arranged everything. During this time, he received a call from Lu Jing. She was on vacation for a few days and would report to the outpatient department afterward. Great, another powerful ally. Fang Hao breathed a sigh of relief and clenched his fist tightly. As long as they don't knock me down, I'll become even stronger. After setting up the computer and printer, he saw a student in a white dress entering the office. He was surprised to see Yue Xia Huo. How did you find this place? I didn't tell you. You drove in with $1 million Mercedes. Students with taste took pictures and posted them on the campus forum. My roommate happened to see it, shared the link, and that's how I found out. I've been keeping an eye on you, so I knew you came here and rushed over. I didn't wear makeup. Will I look ugly like this? Yue Xia Huo confidently smiled and looked around the office, then at the medical books and materials in front of Fang Hao. She speculated, is he going to work here permanently? Fang Hao didn't care about being discovered. He asked, it's good that you're here. I don't need to call you. Let me ask you a question, did you travel abroad last year? I went in mid-June last year. Why do you ask? Fang Hao opened a photo on the computer. Is this you? Yue Xia Huo was shocked and looked at Fang Hao unbelievably, not understanding how he found it. But she quickly figured it out and said, this is your wife, right? Why would you think it's me? Indeed, it's you. You didn't deny it was Zhang Lingtian, so it could very well be him. This Zhang Lingtian has the key to my home. When I'm not there, he even visited my home. He came to my place to cheat on me, it's truly outrageous. It seems that as long as I get Zhang Lingtian's DNA and do a paternity test, if it matches, everything will be clear. I'll know whom to retaliate against. Fang Hao felt relieved and said, I know him. His name is Zhang Lingtian, a remarkable figure in Jiangdong City. You and my wife were both conquered by him, willingly becoming his women. Is it for satisfaction and excitement? The evidence you told your wife about is just this photo? It's still taken from a sneaky angle and lacks credibility. If there's no physical confrontation, she probably won't admit it. Yue Xia Huo quickly closed the door, crossed her arms, and focused on Fang Hao. She thought this handsome young man truly had wisdom to find such a photo. She said, you're really bold, actually stalking and taking sneaky photos. It's highly unethical. If you were there in person, you should have come out. Of course, Suro would never admit it. Without catching them in the act, she wouldn't acknowledge it. Fang Hao knew this well. He said, I know much more than you two. Xia Huo, at this point, if you don't help me, then we really have no chance. Both you and Suro have been played by this person. However, Suro no longer loves me, she doesn't have me in her heart. But you're different, so we have a chance to be together. I'll help you, but if I do, your wife will hate me, and Tiangu will hate me too. It's not worth the risk. Being with you is like having dessert, but being with Tiangu is the main course. Missing dessert won't matter much, but skipping the main course will leave you hungry. So, excuse me. After saying this, Yue Xia Huo turned and left. This despicable person, thinking Zhang Lingtian is a long-term meal ticket? The main course? Still shamelessly talking like that. If it's the words of this old lecher, I'll make him wish he were dead, and all you parasites who depend on him for a living will be left with a foul reputation. Thinking that playing with other people's wives and daughters would bring peace of mind without punishment? What's left of societal norms then? While Fang Hao's thoughts surged, his expression remained calm. A call came in from Lu Yu, asking him to get ready and pick her up at 2:30 in the afternoon to go to Moonbay together. Fang Hao naturally wouldn't refuse. This kind of private consultation opportunity brought in quite a substantial gray income. Dong dong. Someone knocked on the door, and Yue Xia Huo returned. Fang Hao, after giving it some thought, I'll take the risk and help you. You think I'm stupid? Fang Hao shook his head and said indifferently, you help me? What can you do for me? I just need to post your photo on the campus forum, and you'll instantly become more famous. So, you should be begging me now, offering something of equal value to buy this photo from me. You? Yue Xia Huo's expression changed dramatically at his words. From entering with a spring-like face, full of self-satisfaction, to now being as white as frost, she suddenly remembered Su Ro's words about Fang Hao being clever and not easy to provoke. She shouldn't attempt to get close and seduce him, otherwise, she would be swallowed alive by Fang Hao. Her confidence and competitiveness made her lose her sanity, lowering her status to approach Fang Hao and almost shamelessly seduce him. Instead of the scenario where the woman pursues the man behind a veil, she became the prey actively delivered to the hunter's gun, like a moth to the flame, courting disaster. Now she realized that the Fang Hao in front of her was both unfamiliar and frightening. No, Zhang Lingtian is even scarier. She instantly calmed down and said, if you dare to expose me, you can forget about surviving in Jiangdong City. Chapter 228, Baseness is the Pass. Upon hearing this, Fang Hao said, are you threatening me? Yue Xia Huo's face remained cold as she looked at Fang Hao and said, you can see it that way, or you can consider it as me caring about you. In reality, my affairs involve nothing more than the interactions between a man and a woman, each taking what they need. Tiangu is wealthy and intelligent, fulfilling every woman's fantasy, and I am a woman, so I fell for him. My capital is being young and beautiful. I satisfy his desires, gaining a meal ticket first. Oh, he also discovered my talent in calligraphy, allowing me to write beautifully, indirectly providing me with another long-term meal ticket. Exposing me to threaten me with betrayal is impossible. Fang Hao responded, but what about seducing me and wanting to sleep with me? Isn't that betrayal? Even the affair with that young man, isn't that betrayal? If you can betray him once or twice, why are you afraid of him? Yue Xia Huo explained, it's different. He's not young anymore, feeling a bit empty physically. Without some excitement, he lacks passion and inspiration. Being with him gives him the greatest stimulation. What you asked me to investigate about him, that's a different matter. So now being with him is for stimulation and inspiration? Was he stimulated and inspired by betraying others in the past? Then he found Su Ro, and I was asked to betray Su Ro. Was it me he wanted to betray, or was it Su Ro? Such a scumbag, why doesn't he just die? Fang Hao had a flash of insight, thinking about the perverted old man buying intimate items for Su Ro and making her wear them to enhance excitement. Otherwise, that old pervert might not be able to handle it. Su Ro, you actually lowered yourself to please such a useless old pervert. You followed his every command, wore those clothes, and abandoned your pride as an upper-class lady. Are you now a slave to desire? If the old pervert asks you to fool around with other men, would you do that too? In front of the old pervert, you're as humble as a dog, pretending to be pure and lofty in front of me. You really disgust me. Fang Hao could imagine the extent of his wife's surrender to the old pervert without having to witness it with his own eyes. A woman, on her wedding night, with her lover, in their new house, on their new bed, betraying her husband in front of him. This indicates that the woman has completely surrendered, beyond redemption. This marriage must end. Fang Hao asked, so you dare to betray him, and he won't resent you? Yes, I dare to betray him, and he even encourages me to do so. But I must have him in my heart and not harm him. How many times have you betrayed him? Once. Su Ro's mom saw at that time. It was a senior from my college, wealthy and pursued me persistently. He was kind to me, displayed 9,999 roses in the central square, and moved me. I agreed to be with him. It's also your fault. I saw you in the sanatorium, and I fell in love with you at first sight, but you ignored me. If you had paid attention to me, I could have escaped from that senior. Only once? A woman like you would play only once? Do women think they can appear innocent by explaining themselves a bit? Fang Hao sneered inwardly, but his tone remained calm as he asked, so if you come to me, aren't you afraid of being discovered by Zhang Lingtian? Because my identity is not ordinary. I'm not afraid of Tiangu finding out, I'm afraid of Su Ro finding out. Su Ro warned me not to think about you, but I didn't listen to her. She's not my person, I am independent and free. If Zhang Lingtian finds out you're with me, how will he treat you and me? He'll find it very exciting, then burst with inspiration and do something extravagant. After making money, he'll give me a big red envelope. As for you, he won't care because, in his eyes, you're just a little doctor, nothing more. Yeah, I'm just a little doctor. Besides losing my temper and fighting him, what else can I do? Damn it. Fang Hao felt like he had been ruthlessly stepped on. He said, so, you come to me now because he and Su Ro are together, and your courage has grown. Combined with your long-standing jealousy of Su Ro, you want to betray Zhang Lingtian and, by the way, betray Su Ro too. You're quite clever, but your words aren't entirely accurate. I do envy Su Ro. Why does she get Tianji's favor? Not just any favor, but the kind that makes people sick. Oh, do you know what I mean? Zhang Lingtian's villa at the peak of the heavenly mountains, the statue at the entrance, although it doesn't carve out the head, it's sculpted based on Su Ro's body, 1-to-1. Right? Exactly. That sculpture's template is Su Ro. Tiangu said it was his masterpiece of inspiration 4 years ago, the proudest work of his life. Oh, you know about this too? 4 years ago, was it the day of my grand wedding with Su Ro? Fang Hao felt another heavy blow to his heart, and the pain made his soul tremble. He coldly said, I've said it before, I know more than you think. Yue Xia Huo also chuckled and said, is that so? Then do you know how Su Ro rejected your divorce proposal? She has connections in the court. Who? Is it necessary to ask? Anyway, she's with her. But you only know one aspect, not the other. Because Cheng Jie is also Tianji's woman. Fang Hao recalled the names of the people disclosed online by the court. There was a female judge surnamed Cheng. He said, Cheng Yu. I didn't say anything. You said it yourself. Hee hee. Seeing that Fang Hao didn't mention the photos or the threat to her, Yue Xia felt like she had stabilized Fang Hao. She saw hope again, and the desire that had been suppressed just now resurfaced. Suro, I'm not worse than you. Why do you deserve Tianji's favor, such a handsome husband, and even dragon and phoenix twins? You've taken all the advantages in the world. No, you old woman, you don't deserve so much. Yue Xia said, Fang Hao, are you feeling miserable now, with a fire suppressed in your heart? I can help you release it. Let me help you. You haven't answered me. Are Zhang Lingtian and Suro together now? Fang Hao, stop asking. I've told you enough. You know what you need to know, and you shouldn't think too much. The most important thing in life is to be happy. Now, I'm in front of you. As long as you reach out, you can be happy. Why don't you reach out? You shameless woman, trying to seduce me again. You're even worse than Suro. Do you think I would be interested in you? Dream on. Naturally, Fang Hao couldn't sleep with this woman in front of him. Just looking at her reminded him of her disgusting appearance with Zhang Lingtian and Suro when they were together. Can Yue Xia's words be trusted? Is she trying to manipulate me? The man in the photo is Zhang Lingtian, and she used Zhang Lingtian to control me? Then she used Suro to provoke me and make me follow her path? This cunning woman. Fang Hao said, Suro is also very beautiful, even more beautiful than you. She has been with me for 4 years, so you can't stimulate me at all now. Yue Xia frowned and said, are you saying I'm not as good as her? That's right, except for being young, you're not as good as her in any aspect. With just a few words, you want me to betray her? It's not considered betrayal. First, she cheated on you, betrayed you. Second, aren't you getting a divorce anyway? Why do you still care about this? The most important thing in life is happiness, so enjoy it. Is that so? Then let me give you a phrase, baseness is the pass, nobility is the epitaph. What does that mean? Don't understand? Go ask Zhang Lingtian. Chapter 229, Pretending to be confused with a clear understanding. After going downstairs, Yue Xia took out her phone, snapped a picture of the Mercedes-Benz, and sent it to Suro, saying, Little Ro, I saw your husband at the university. Seeing Suro's call coming in quickly, she smirked, answered, and said, Don't believe it. Jiangdong University? Yes, right at my school. Where? In the pathology building of the medical school. That's not far from me. I'll come over now. What? You're at Jiangdong University? Yue Xia was surprised to see the call end. She looked at the Mercedes-Benz again, thought about Fang Hao alone in the lab, and felt a bit frustrated. Sure enough, within a few minutes, Yue Xia saw Suro driving over. Suro got out of the car, went to ask the property security at the building, and went up directly. She stepped aside, just in time to see Fang Hao's lab on the floor above. Before long, she saw Suro arriving on the floor of Fang Hao's lab and then entering. Damn it! Fang Hao was supposed to be mine. Yue Xia stomped her foot in frustration. Why are you here? Fang Hao was a bit surprised, not that Suro wouldn't come, but that she came so quickly. Yue Xia knew that she would definitely tell Suro about her being here, and Suro wouldn't ignore it. It was like when he lived in the hospital dorms, Suro would come to check. Suro coming so quickly meant she was already at the university. Could it be that Yue Xia and Suro colluded beforehand? If I took advantage of the situation, spent time alone in a room with Yue Xia, and then Suro suddenly appeared, wouldn't I be caught in the act? Suro would mock me, coerce me into not getting a divorce, and she would have the absolute upper hand. Is this a trap? Are they this cunning? They're not good people. It was really dangerous just now. Fang Hao felt fortunate that he resisted Yue Xia's temptation once again. Husband, you should answer me first. Why are you here? This computer, printer, and these books are all from your hospital dorm. Why did you move them here? Suro said, thinking of something. Has my husband been kicked out of the hospital dorm? How pitiful. She came behind Fang Hao, hugged him, and said, Husband, let's go home. Home is your strongest shield. Fang Hao frowned and said, Are you here to mock me? No, husband, you're my dearest husband. No matter how you are, I will support you. Don't hold back. If you want to laugh, just laugh. In terms of work and employment, I'm indeed not as good as you. You had someone help you as soon as you entered the company, and then you got raises and promotions smoothly. You have the right to mock me. Today, not only did I fail in my career, but there's also trouble at home. Just finished setting up the computer, and someone sends me a photo like this. Fang Hao pointed to the picture and showed it to Suro. Su-ro took a look, and the first thing that caught her eye was Zhang Lingtian, followed by the woman. Her gaze paused for a moment, and she said, "Husband, who is the person in this picture? Don't tell me you think that woman is me? That's not me, I've never been to the beach. Isn't that woman you? I remember you have this style of sunglasses and this swimsuit. The hairstyle and figure, aren't they all the same?" Fang Hao questioned again. Su-ro hurriedly said, "Sunglasses and swimsuits are mass-produced in batches, they can't be exclusive. In this vast sea of people, there will be similar ones. Husband, think about it. When did I ever go to the beach? Look at the surroundings here, there are mostly foreigners. This is a foreign country. I've never been abroad. Husband, how many times do you want me to say it? I haven't betrayed you, I only love you. Damn woman, won't admit to anything. So stubborn." Fang Hao said, "What about this man? You should know him, right?" "I don't know him." Su-ro directly denied it. Fang Hao said, "Is that so? A while ago, he used our house key to enter, and you explained that he was your cousin. It's only been a few days, and now you're telling me you don't know him? Husband, what will it take for you to believe me? I've said it before, I don't believe you. Husband, why are you so cruel to me?" Su-ro didn't look at the screen. Instead, she tightly hugged Fang Hao from behind, tears streaming down her face. Choking back tears, she said, "Husband, please don't treat me like this. I'm carrying your child now, not just one, but two, twins. Can't you be a bit kinder to me for the sake of our flesh and blood? My mom's mental state is not good now. She keeps saying depressing things, regretting her past. Today, she made me come here to handle her retirement matters. She won't be teaching anymore or doing research. She's very pessimistic about her health. Carrying children while taking care of my mom is tough for me as a woman. Husband, please don't abandon me at this time, okay?" Fake helplessness. Fang Hao's first instinct was that this was an act. He said, "I told you to have an abortion, why didn't you listen to me? Husband, you're a doctor. You save pregnancies for other pregnant women, so why be so cruel to your own child? Because you cheated. You didn't just have me as a man, you had relations with other men. So, I'm not sure if the child in your belly is mine. Why should I keep it? Husband, I, Su-ro, swear that if the child is not yours, I will die right away. I'm willing to bet my hukou on it." "Bet? Do you dare to bet that you haven't been with another man outside? Do you dare to bet that no one else has entered your body besides me? If you dare to bet, I'll bet with you. You bet your life, and I'll bet mine. You bet a hukou, and I'll bet a hukou. Do you dare to bet?" "I don't." Su-ro hadn't expected Fang Hao to be so ruthless. Her heart trembled slightly, and she released Fang Hao. Instantly calming down, she said, "Husband, I won't argue with you. My mom is waiting for me to take care of her. If you find it peaceful here, just stay. I won't disturb you anymore. I and the children will always love you." After saying that, she left, holding her hands together and shrugging her shoulders. Su-ro left just like that? What did they talk about? Looking at Su-ro's appearance, her emotions didn't seem high. Yue Xia Huo was very concerned. She first walked outside and, when Su-ro drove out, she stopped the car and got in. "Little Ro, did you cry? Did you guys have a fight?" Yue Xia Huo could see that Su-ro's eyes were a bit red from crying, so she handed over a tissue. Su-ro frowned, parked the car on the side of the road, and said, "Why does my husband have pictures of you guys? Why did you leave photos?" "What photos?" Yue Xia Huo asked knowingly. Su-ro said, "Last June, you and Ling Tian went on a trip abroad. The intimate photos of you on the beach were taken by someone and are now in my husband's hands. He thinks the person in the photos is me. Why were you guys so careless? Now, my husband has such a misunderstanding. How am I supposed to explain? Little Ro, check the dates and itinerary with him. You didn't go abroad, can't he figure it out? My husband was already investigating me. He wanted a divorce from me. Now, with this confusion, even if he understands, he'll pretend not to. Once again, you almost ruined me. Little Ro, let me arrange a time to explain to your husband." "Well, it can only be done like this." Yue Xia Huo didn't expect Su-ro to agree. She said, "Okay, I will talk to him about the photos. I will show him my flight records. I absolutely won't add fuel to the fire. He's your husband, and I won't covet him. No, I want you to take him down. Use your methods, whatever it takes, take him down." Chapter 230, Mutual Respect Between Father-in-Law and Son-in-Law. After all, I am not a heart of stone. When his wife visited, Fang Hao's emotions were still affected, especially when talking about Zhang Lingtian. His wife directly denied knowing Zhang Lingtian, playing dumb to the extreme. A person who loves to lie often denies the truth. Perhaps her lover is really Zhang Lingtian. Fang Hao became more convinced of his speculation from his wife's evasive attitude, narrowing down the possibilities and temporarily focusing on Zhang Lingtian. However, this Zhang Lingtian is too formidable, making Fang Hao feel a bit of pressure. Damn it, you old guy, I won't be afraid of you. You slept with my wife, if I don't take you down, I'm not human. Fang Hao tidied up, opened the voice recorder, hid it, and then left. In his wife's words just now, she lied about the affair, and Fang Hao absolutely could not believe it. However, he was still concerned about what she said about her mother. When he returned to his mother-in-law's villa, he didn't see his wife's car, and she wasn't in the villa either. She hasn't come back? If it's not for business, she must be looking for her lover. Why bother with her? On the second-floor living room's large balcony, there was a coffee table, and Fang's mother-in-law, Zhou Fen, was sitting there with some photo albums in front of her. She was slowly flipping through them, reminiscing about the past of each photo. Fang Hao approached and said, "Mom, how are you feeling today? Let me check your pulse." His mother-in-law extended her right hand, letting Fang Hao check her pulse while glancing at the time. "It's not even noon yet. Have you finished work? In the past few days, I was in charge of the department and didn't take any days off. Now that the new director has taken over, it's natural for the new director to be busy. I'll take 2 days off." Fang Hao casually said, probing his mother-in-law's pulse and finding no problems. Could this old lady be pretending to be sick? He retained this suspicion and didn't draw conclusions hastily. After all, a person's illness is not always entirely reflected in the physiological pulse mechanism. When the will is depressed, people are prone to pessimism. His mother-in-law said, "A new official has taken office. Even Lu Yu has not been rehired. It's obvious that they want to kick out all of you former employees. You, a country bumpkin with no power or influence, and no beard on your lips, will be the first to be kicked out. Tell me, how aggrieved are you? Let this old lady have a good laugh." Expelled from the gynecology department, the dormitory was also taken back. "I was given a few hours to move out, otherwise, they would throw my belongings into the trash can. Hey, this can be considered a complete dissection. When one's time is not right, luck is not good. Hee, this is the best news I've heard. I feel extremely comfortable. Later, I can eat a few more bowls of rice. Country bumpkin, I let you stay at my place last night. If you didn't stay, the retribution came today, right? It's really enjoyable." Zhou Fen called the young maid serving her, saying, "Make more lunch. I have a good appetite now." "Yes." The young maid glanced at Fang Hao and nodded slightly. She knew that her brother-in-law meant to have lunch here. Especially when she went downstairs and saw that Fang Hao had sat on the other side of the coffee table, taking the initiative to pour tea, it strengthened her idea. She went to the kitchen, took out her phone, and called Su Ro. "Your husband is here, and your mother's spirits are much better now. She even laughed just now. Where are you? Hurry back." "My husband, if you want to keep my husband for lunch, you must keep him. I'm coming back now." Su Ro, who was driving, suddenly felt refreshed. "Okay, your mother also kept your husband for lunch." Your husband agreed. "Make a few more dishes that my husband likes. My husband has been working hard during this time. Take the nutritious ones from the refrigerator and stew a soup. I don't understand this, you watch and do it. Oh, my dad's wine cabinet has a special supply of wine, take it out, don't keep it. My dad has special cigarettes, take them out first for my husband. Don't let him smoke in front of my mom. If you're not good at asking, don't give him an ashtray. He's very clever. Without an ashtray, he'll know he can't smoke." Su Ro said a lot, and when she hung up the phone, she breathed a sigh of relief. Her husband came to her house so quickly, he must have rushed over right after she left. He cared about her mother. Husband, never left. Husband, still loves me. She raised her lips slightly, feeling somewhat triumphant. Su Buiyuan returned home and saw the Mercedes-Benz parked at the entrance, which he recognized as Fang Hao's. He furrowed his brows, the son-in-law he didn't like might have arrived. Entering the house and confirming with the young maid from the Zhou family, his brows furrowed even deeper. However, upon hearing that Fang Hao had come, his wife's mental state noticeably improved, bringing a touch of relief. He went upstairs and indeed saw Fang Hao drinking tea. Feeling a bit embarrassed to face his son-in-law, he cleared his throat, pretended nothing was wrong, and said, "Fang Hao, you're here. Dad, you're back too. I have a couple of days off, so I came to see Mom." Fang Hao felt disdain for his father-in-law, blushing slightly. However, in front of his mother-in-law, he didn't want things to escalate. The two of them tacitly maintained an appearance of mutual respect between father-in-law and son-in-law. The mother-in-law said, "Old Su, you came just in time. Quickly, mock this country bumpkin." He managed the gynecology department well, smoothly transitioning to the new leadership, but unexpectedly, the new director kicked him out. The gynecology department doesn't want him anymore. He even lost his dormitory. Now, he's like a wandering stray dog. Mock him quickly. Su Buiyuan still had something to hold against Fang Hao, so he didn't dare to mock him. He said, "Zhou, how can you say that about Fang Hao? With his medical skills, staying in the gynecology department would be a waste. Yang Wenjin knows her own worth, she won't let Fang Hao leave." He sat down beside Zhou Fen, saying, "Fang Hao, your mother didn't feel well this morning. Did you check her pulse?" "I checked, and I also did acupuncture just now. She's much better now, no need to worry." Fang Hao still didn't mention the seriousness of Zhou Fen's condition. He felt that his mother-in-law was a shrewd person and might be planning something. If she was investigating Su Ro's outside affairs, it would be interesting. Feigning illness, Zhou Fen might force Su Ro to bring her lover before her in a dying state. Fang Hao wondered if Su Ro would comply. Thinking about this, he couldn't help but glance at his mother-in-law. She had a poker face, showing no sign of enthusiasm. Su Buiyuan said, "Fang Hao, I inquired about the situation at your hospital. The changes in leadership this time are significant. As long as you stay in the hospital, you have a good chance of being highly valued in the future." Zhou Fen said, "Him? Reemployed? What kind of international joke are you making?" Su Buiyuan explained, "You don't understand. Some old friends from the capital inquired about the prospects of investing in properties here in Jiangdong City. They sent representatives for on-site inspections, and the investment amount is over 100 million. What does that indicate? Either there is a policy leaning towards this area, and they are savvy investors, or some big shot is coming here for recuperation. I guess it's the latter because they've already started reforming the provincial hospital system." Fang Hao's interest was piqued. Could I seize this opportunity? If I can see the illness of that big shot in advance and prepare early, I might have a chance to participate. I won't be without confidence. It seems that my father-in-law has many sources of information. He is familiar with Zhang Lingtian, so why not ask him about Zhang Lingtian? Since I know he disrespects the elderly, he and Zhang Lingtian are birds of a feather. He said, "Dad, let's go to the study and chat privately for a few minutes."